What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are here at Lake Julian Disc Golf Course. We are battling distance drivers in two different speed categories, but I think a very similar stability category. We are battling my champion Daedalus versus a Scorch from Discraft. 11 speed versus 13 speed. This could be a very even matchup, or it could be very one-sided. Let's see which one plays better. Now, for this slot, for me specifically, I'm looking for something that I can hyzer, flip to late turn with a fade. I know that's a lot of things to put into one disc, and on this specific hole, if we throw them hard enough to get that shot shape out of them, we're going to go way too far and probably lose both drivers. So what we're going to do is we're going to power down on it and throw a softer shot, which is probably a little bit more reminiscent to the flight that most people are going to see out of both of these molds. And Daedalus has been in the bag. So we're gonna go Daedalus first, put them on a hyzer, throw them controlled probably about 60-70%, and then let's see if they will stand up and drift from there. Stands up, straight to a fade. And then that 13 speed rim obviously is going to skip because it's a 13 speed rim. Now for the Scorch, which is a different hand feel. This is a good bit more domey, a good bit less flat. The Daedalus is very flat on top and smaller rim, and it has a little bit more of a concave versus the convex underside of the Daedalus. So different hand speeds, or different hand feels, different speeds. Do they fly the same though? A little bit too low and a little bit too much hyzer. But yeah, I'd say they're a similar shot shape. Based on results though, we are going to give first point to the Daedalus. This is one of those holes where we probably will be able to see a little bit of a distance difference, if there is a distance difference. This one, the basket is placed in the 410 position. However, there's a lot of open space back behind it. So if we end up going long of the basket, that's even better, because this is the slot that should, if anything, be able to get me there. This slot, I'm looking for something that is basically in between the Henna Destroyer and the Virus, as far as getting good distance but still having the ability to flex and come back. The Virus is amazing, but it does hold over a little bit longer than I want this specific slot for. So, Daedalus has the box. Let's go. Again, just hyzer flex. This time we're gonna put a little bit more power into it though. It was very straight, probably again too much hyzer. Big. And I parked it. Again, I parked it. I didn't see the shot shape I was hoping I would see. Let's see if the Scorch shows me anything different. There's the drift I was hoping to see. And that was parked again. That's what we want to see. That is 1 point for the Scorch. So they are now tied up 1-1. Let's see what this hole has to offer. We need them to come out on some hyzer, but we also want them to stand up, drift a little bit, because I'm going to try to make sure that they release a little bit left so they have space to come out and then come back right at the basket. That's the shot I want from this slot. That's the shot I want from both of these discs. Okay. Could have given that a little bit more. just not getting the Daedalus to turn right now is a problem because I want it to turn. The Scorch turned. So Scorch with a point. So far we've seen more turn from the Scorch than the Daedalus. And the Daedalus, it almost turned on the first hole because I threw it mostly flat. But since then it's just flipped up and gone laser beam straight. And I want this slot to push and turn a little bit more as it gets further into the flight. The issue we're running into with the Daedalus is that it is truly a 13 speed. This is a much larger size rim than the Scorch. And so to get it to turn, to get it to have the full effect of the -3, you have to overpower it so incredibly much that to get it to flip late, it still has to be out on that acceleration speed out there. I don't know if I have the arm speed, but it seems I can get that from the Scorch. So yet again on this hole, it's going to have to turn. If it doesn't turn, might be the last time we see the disc because there's a lake over there. Consistent, reliable turn and a fade. Keeps it just very, very line drive and straight, which is something that I'm really looking for. Now, I would have liked to see it a little bit higher and a little bit more to the right by the time it started to fade, but I can work with that stability. That's something that I can learn and measure the angles with. That I don't know if I can always get the arm speed to get the 13 speed Daedalus to do what I want it to do. Again, we're gonna try. We're gonna see if we can make it do better, but it's a much faster rip. And please hit a tree so I can finish the video. That might be it for the Daedalus. Hopefully it hit a tree and came down. I did not hear a thing. So, Scorch with the point. I need to move soon. Get away from the course that loses all my discs. All right, got some good news and some bad news. The bad news is I was not lying when I said if it doesn't flip up or turn over, it'll probably be the last time we see that disc. The good news, however, is I already had a backup. This one actually might be easier to see, but the Scorch is winning this battle, so is the backup really worth it? I think here's what I'm gonna say about this. I think for most courses, for most tight lines, I'm going to throw the Scorch a little bit better and more accurate to the line I'm trying to hit because it's a slightly slower speed disc. So for most courses, the Scorch is going to stay in my bag. However, I have seen the Daedalus flip up and turn over at lower elevation and with more wind, at which point I might bring the Scorch stability into question. So for bigger, more wide open courses and very windy times of year, I might have to pull the Daedalus back into the bag. Just that 13 speed rim is going to give it wind resistance that the 11 speed doesn't quite have, even though they're somewhat the same stability. I've also never thrown this Daedalus, it's completely new. Scorch has the box though. Last points. Distance drive here. If we don't see it flex, it doesn't get the point. That was too much hyzer for a flex. That's really good distance. I need less hyzer. What am I doing with so much hyzer? Okay, there's a flex. And big distance. Okay, that specific Daedalus might be a hair more stable than the other one. But again, that's good because at a place like Fox Run Meadows, if it's windy, or at a place like Maple Hill, if it's windy, I need distance. I need big maximum distance. But I also need something that's going to not just burn over in the wind. And I think that the Daedalus has a slightly higher chance of doing that than the Scorch would. So big, bomber, wide open courses, Daedalus. basically everything else. Scorch, again, that's for the time being. Let's see how that works out for me. Hopefully you guys enjoy content like this. If so, please make sure to like the video. If you want to see new stuff, make sure to comment all that down below as well. Please make sure to subscribe. It helps you guys out with these subscriber only giveaways. And if you want to be automatically entered into monthly giveaways, check out the memberships as well. Until next time, see you out on the course.